Hey, what's up you guys? It's Jaded. I wanted to give some clarity on my last video because I felt like I didn't fully explain the actual situation behind the movement speed, the mobility of the monk. You know, I had stated that it was the slowest class in the game and it needed help in a lot of areas. And somehow I just completely, when I made it, I completely skipped over Tempest Rush, and that's a big one when it comes to low monster power farming. The reason I skipped over it initially was because I felt like it wasn't a core part of the monk's, cookie cutter, flavor of the month sort of build, and I honestly I thought it was more gimmicky, but through a bit more trial and error, and even with my budget build, I ended up making it work. You can see in the background, I'm able to keep up enough spirit, it feels okay. It doesn't feel the best because of the gear is so poor, but it still feels like, hey, you could do this. The real problem with this is the amount of sacrifice you have to do just to get a Tempest Rush build, just to get this skill into your build and use it effectively. Like, you have to sacrifice so many other slots, not just like one slot for the skill itself and then you can use it and you're good. It's more like you have to change your primary to a rune that generates more, almost said fury, more spirit. You have to change your mantra, so you're losing a ton of DPS just because you have to use the healing mantra to get 3 spirit a second. You have to change your sweeping wind, you have to change 2 passives. Like, it's so ridiculous how much you have to change just to get the spirit regeneration. And I feel like monks there, that's an area where they can improve the monk, is one of 2 things. They can give you better spirit generation, like whether that's through just more in general on primaries, or just make it easier to get, make maybe one of the passives more powerful, something like that. So that, it's like one slot you have to sacrifice for when it comes to resources. And then with Tempest Rush specifically, it shouldn't take so much spirit. It should be way cheaper, and that's one of the problems, I talked in the original video. Like, all the skills just cost so much resource, and I don't really know why. And it makes lower gear monks feel a lot worse than they should be. So that all being said, though, I'm sure people at the top, playing monk with very good gear, or even just average decent gear, a build like this probably feels okay to them. It feels like, okay, you can sacrifice some DPS to switch over to this. I have my own MP0 farming build on my barb that I like to do. It's the same thing for the monk. You need the speed with Tempest Rush to get around faster, and you kind of use it just like sprint. So I just wanted to clear that up because I know a lot of people are going to bring it up, and I don't want people who don't play the class to be turned off by the monk. And I want the class to get better. That's kind of why I was making these videos, is just to get a general consensus of what's actually going on with the class, because I don't play every class 400 hours, like, it's just impossible, and I don't spend tons of money on each individual set for these classes, so it's kind of hard in some regards for me to know everything about every class. But that was one of my fears when doing this. Doing budget builds is one thing, but when it comes to doing something like State of the Class, where you're trying to discuss like where it can improve, you might be wrong, or I might be wrong specifically about certain things because I don't know the full story of each class, because I don't want to give out false information. And if I'm ever wrong or something, I'm gonna try to correct myself and let you guys know the real situation if I learn something. So anyways, that's going to do it for this quick video. Just wanted to get that off my chest. I'm going to go now, guys, so have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.